What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Show, where I, Graham Jason Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network and on Peacock. And today we're talking the July 23rd, 2022 edition of the SmackDown LowDown. Jackie Redmond back in the studio this week, joined by Matt Camp, who is calling in remotely. To start the show, they've run down the biggest headlines from Friday's show, including Brock Lesnar appearing, which they don't really get into the fact that Brock was advertised, then he wasn't advertised. The report came out, he walked out of the show, came back in time for the closing segment. He really did salvage SmackDown. Brock was out there for all of 60 seconds before they went off the air, but it was one of the best things in the whole show. Not that the Stephanie promo was one of the best parts of the show, but it was probably one of the most newsworthy in kind of reinforcing what we already knew that broke a couple of hours earlier. Vince gone from WWE, retiring from WWE on his own accord, but not really. Won't really get into that here, but Stephanie did announce on the show that Vince is no more. I went into more depth about that in my SmackDown audio review from yesterday, so if you missed that, check it out, and in my written review as well. Anyway, so from there, they break down the Drew McIntyre Sheamus segment from SmackDown, where they announce next week on the show, it's going to be a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match, which I guess is going to involve shillelaghs, no disqualifications, but Drew cannot bring his sword down to the ring. And the winner of that match will then advance to Clash of the Castle to challenge the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. Drew McIntyre is interviewed backstage by Megan Morant. A lot of alliteration there. Drew McIntyre says that he knows the rules of the match and knows that he can't bring his sword down to the ring, but he just wants this match to happen. And he's surprised that it took this long, because Sheamus has been ducking him for weeks now, but he recalls their journey together, coming up in the business together, breaking into the business together in WWE, being champions, whatever, and he's looking forward to making a lot of things come true next week as far as this match goes. He's very excited for it. They can beat the shit out of each other, use shillelaghs, and really have that hard-hitting affair we always look forward to seeing from these two on SmackDown, so that should be a very quality match. And he also wants to become a WWE champion again. This will get him one step closer to making that a reality, and not only does he want to become a champion again, he wants to become the WWE champion again in front of fans. And that's the key there, because he's a two-time WWE champion. Both of those title wins came in front of no people in 2020. So that's really what he wants to do going forward. Booker T, who is the special guest analyst on this episode, thinks that this will make for the best fight between the two. And he expects them to go out and have a cold one in the pub after it's over. Matt Camp recalls their matches from the Thunderdome era and how great those matches were, including a no DQ match at the Fastlane pay-per-view from early 2021. And he thinks both guys are going to go in there and bring it against each other, given the stakes this match has. From there, they replay the Pat McAfee Happy Corbin segment, where Corbin came out and attacked McAfee at the commentator's table. McAfee chased him backstage, went back out to the ring, addressed the audience. Great promo. They also recap the Shinsuke Nakamura-Ludwig Kaiser match, where Kaiser won. He won decisively, but it wasn't a clean-cut, hit you with my finisher, or 1-2-3 win. It was a kind of a roll-up type win. So they also talk about Gunther slapping the shit out of Kaiser. And we hear from Gunther and Kaiser very briefly. Gunther just calls Kaiser a disgrace and walks off. And Matt Camp says that he's actually in favor of Gunther's actions and that he is someone who will not take losses easily and ensure wins mean the most. They also recap the closing of SmackDown that saw the team of Theory and the Usos lose to the Profits and Madcap Moss by DQ before Brock came out, laid out Theory with an F5, on top of the briefcase no less as well. And they also replay the Ronda Rousey-Liv Morgan verbal exchange, which that was actually very good backstage. Hopefully they could do more stuff like that again with Ronda Rousey if it's pre-taped. Her live promos were not the best. I'm not sure how many takes this took. It might have been one take, who knows, but I thought it was very good. We hear from Liv Morgan, the SmackDown Women's Champion, backstage with Megan Morant. Liv says that, Ronda's got a child. She's got a husband that she goes home to. Her time is split when she goes home. That's what she's focused on. Liv, meanwhile, all she focuses on when she goes home is that championship, is the pro wrestling business. And she dismisses this notion that Ronda might be more passionate than her, and she wants to prove it when she wins at SummerSlam. Booker T says that it's all about checks and championships, and Matt Camp hopes that Morgan is prepared for a more aggressive Ronda Rousey coming off her loss to the championship and Money in the Bank earlier this month. Booker says as far as Theory goes, he's picking the right fights right now. He's working his way to the main event as Mr. Money in the Bank. He could probably be winning a bit more, but that's just my opinion. Matt Camp questions if Theory is taking on too many enemies at once. Booker vehemently disagrees, saying that, he's taking the ball, he's running it with it right now, he will do it at the right time as far as cashing in, and he calls Theory a future champion. So if you ever needed to know if Booker T was a Theory fan, well, you found out for a fact here on this show, and all the compliments that he pays this man and praising him up the asshole as far as, oh, he's so great, he's a future champion. I think Theory's great too, but Booker really laid it on thick here at the end of this episode. So that was the SmackDown Lowdown for July 23rd, 2022. Thank you guys for checking out my review. I apologize for it being delayed. Usually these SmackDown Lowdown reviews, Talking Smack, whatever, go up on Saturday or Sunday. The show airs on Saturday mornings, of course. I just haven't had the time lately, and it's been a very busy and backed up summer as far as stuff I've had going on. All great stuff, but I've just been very behind on several things. So I apologize for that. It should be up earlier next week. I know SummerSlam is on Saturday, so if they even do an episode on Saturday, it will not be very likely that day. I'll be in Nashville for SummerSlam, so that's kind of the problem I have here. It'll very likely be up on Sunday. I'll have some time before I fly back out to CT on Sunday, so I'll probably watch it then. Although it will be outdated, but whatever. They'll probably cover stuff, because there's a lot of stuff going on at SmackDown next week that has nothing to do with SummerSlam. McIntyre, Sheamus, Aaliyah, Lacey Evans, Viking Raiders, New Day, some stuff there I mentioned that they didn't mention here in Talking Smack. All of that has nothing to do with SummerSlam. So it probably, I always watch the show and review it regardless of when it goes up. So keep an eye out for that. Very likely next Sunday. And a lot of content coming between now and then as well. More live reaction videos I took at the Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor show the other day. The post-show media scrum that I was in attendance for, I have my video version of it, thankfully taken by Alexis, which was great. And I have the audio of that as well. So the video/audio of that should be up soon. More interviews. My interview with the SmackDown Women's Champion, Liv Morgan, dropped earlier today. Another interview coming for sure on Friday. More interviews taking place on, I think, Friday at the Media Junket. Don't know when those will be up. And a lot more. So if there was ever a time to subscribe here to the channel, it would be this week. A Miss Marvel review on the Next Panel podcast, #AskGSM, WrestleRant radio excerpt, SummerSlam predictions, and a lot more. So please hit that subscribe button and never miss a video as soon as they go up here on the channel. With all that being said, guys, have a great rest of your week. I'm Graham GSM Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.